This topic is really one that comes up a lot, and I think I can give people a bit more peace of mind as I share, excuse me, about the value. Quite often, one of the biggest comments or concerns slash questions is, why is it so expensive? Why do certain things cost so much? And I don't really want to buy it. I'd love to, but it costs too much. And at first, totally understand. You can totally understand where you're coming from, because I was there. I was like, I'm only going to do a few things. When I realized the way that you can stretch out a lot of the products and why it is so important to start really being mindful of the products that we use. Our bodies are so toxic, but we don't realize it. We don't realize it that it's actually from the foods that we eat and the products that we use every single day. I mean, you think about it, there's a huge list of ailments, if you will. And I found it off this one site. It's really a long list, but how many people do you know that have hormonal troubles? How many people do you know that have asthma, digestive concerns, skin eczema, things like that? Many, like migraines, the list goes on. And a lot of that, unfortunately, is because of the toxic buildup in our body. Unfortunately, a lot of the toxins end up in our fats in our body. So in our layer of skin, right underneath the first layer of skin, or the layers, I forget how many layers there are, there's your fat. And that's usually where toxins are stored. So when people start to lose weight or release weight, that sometimes can be a real good time to also detoxify, or starting to detoxify before you do that. So how does this relate to value? Well, when you think about, for example, all your personal care products. If you've seen a little video I did the other day about the Thieves laundry soap. No label here, but check this out. This bottle, I think it runs about $35, okay? Wholesale member. That's $35. Check out the size of these boys. I got these 3 out of that 1, okay? 3 out of 1. I just lopsided my camera. 3, that means one of these is just a little less, a little more than $10. I did a load, and I took the label off of this bad boy. I did one load of the boys' jeans. And I mean, the guys have stinky clothes, stinky, dirty. Just because I wanted to make sure, I use 7 pumps. 7's like my favorite number. I use 7 pumps out of here. That's the only amount. I'm going to track it. So that's 1 load of lots of stinky jeans and dirty socks. Okay. This is toxin free. And that then took this 1 concentrated cleaner, turned it into 3 bottles of laundry soap. 3 bottles laundry soap. These came from Amazon, and I think it was like $7 to get the 3 of them. Reusable, just keep the labels from your original bottles. Or you can use these, except that this is going to get you more than this would if you dilute it. Okay? So you can also do that. Thieves dish soap. Adding this in. My amazing friend Mindy, her mom told me about the fruit and veggie soak. Actually, if you like bubbles in your or in your dish soap, because some people are just used to seeing that, she would put just a tiny bit, a half a capful. This is the size of the cap. Half of the capful into her dishwater. I also then kept these. So if I wanted a little bit more in my dish soap, I would actually just spritz in while I'm filling the sink for dishes. So if you buy the dish soap, which is $11, you use 3, oh hey Crystal, you use these, stretch it out, make it 3 for 1. Take the bottles or a similar bottle, which is 355 mils, stretch it out, have 3 of them, spread it out evenly. I add a little bit of peroxide. I won't go into the recipes really too much. It's in one of my last posts if you scroll through. I basically divvied it up, water, some washing soda that I would recommend diluting first, and I added essential oils and topped it up with water. So this, you can add peroxide for an extra boost, and then you can add a little bit of lemon if you wish, and you can even add a little bit of the Thieves Cleaner. So then you've taken this $11 bottle and turned it into 3 bottles of dish soap with no toxins. Toxins are absorbed into your skin. There is called the Daily Dozen. I highly recommend you Google it. There is BHT. I'm going to just read a few. I made a notes real quick. BHT, Coal DEA, which is a long name. I'm not going to even go there to pronounce it. All the phthalates, the sodium lauryl, lauryl sulfates, parabens, perfume, propylene glycols, you name it. There's a dozen. Guess how many of that dozen? If you're a woman, this should concern you for hormonal issues, endocrine system disruptors, and especially if you have a young teenage daughter who is into lotions and perfumes and cleansers that are purple and green and all that stuff. We're talking out of all of them, there's only 3 that their main, or 4, sorry, where their main concern is not hormone disruptors. That's a big deal when you're thinking about how many girls nowadays, they look very mature for their 8-year-old body or their 10-year-old body. When I remember being in grade 7, I still didn't really look like I was, I was not yet developing. And that's okay. That's what we want. We want to make sure the body does it on its own, right? So when you think about, you got 3 for 1 out of this, which is actually less than your normal box of Gaines soap that you buy for laundry soap. Your laundry soap is in your fabrics, on your skin. How many deal with major skin issues? When I turned 30, I had a month-long bout of hives that I had so much trouble getting rid of. I went through everything from foods to soaps to lotions to makeup to laundry soap. I never used fabric softener, but I stopped the dryer sheets, all of those things. And I was just blown away by how many things I had to get rid of until my body started getting better. It took like a month. And this is prior any of this stuff. So the other thing, how many have Thieves soaps? I keep these. You can tear the label off, and then you can actually you can stretch 1 out of 3. Water, a little bit of peroxide, and just shake it up. They're very concentrated. When you have a little boy that's just like pump, 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 pump for 1 little hand wash for a little guy, yeah, it gets a bit much, right? So I can get 3 out of 1 of those because, yeah, well, I just do. And then I can also put some into these to travel with. These are little foamy things you can get from Life Science Publishers. And I put even a little bit of Thieves Cleaner into here if I want to give a little bit of extra grease fighting ability to my dish water when I'm doing like pots and pans and things like that. These stretch that out really, really well. So that said, the next thing, these Thieves Cleaners. Okay, here is the one we got for free one month on Essential Rewards. Super awesome. The recipe is on here. It's 2 cups of water, 16 ounces, and 1 capful or half a teaspoon of the cleaner, and then mix with water. That's it. I do add a little peroxide in the kitchen because I'm just that weird because, well, chicken. And then I will put an extra half capful sometimes. So you can get about 23 to 25 out of this. That works out to be just under $3 a bottle for cleaner. This is $26, but you get 23-ish of these. So when people talk value or they're concerned about the price of this, my comment back is initially, but when you see what you can do with it and where you can stretch it out. And the other part of it is there's no trade-off. You're soaking your hands in your dishwater, right? If you use the dishwasher, perfect. Your dishes are not coated with stuff that you then put your food on, right? You're cleaning your counters where you cut your fruits and vegetables or your cutting boards. It's not then covered with the cleaner, and then you're going to eat it after you've used your fruit and veggie soak to get off all the junk that ends up being on your fruits and veggies. So all of these things are really important. And when we talk about our toxic bodies, we're dealing with so many chemicals. Unfortunately, manufacturers are making these products so that they are cheaper and people buy them more regularly versus going for something like this. Your laundry soap, you go buy 1 box of Gain or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is anymore. You can get 1 of these for a little bit less than that, and then you get 3 of those laundry soaps out of that 1 bottle. So that's huge. So when you think about how many women are dealing with infertility, how many women are dealing with hormonal disruptions and emotional concerns, how many children have all of their bath products that are purple, green, funky colors, their foods are funky colors, so are their toothpastes, but we have neurotoxins flooding their body with all of those things. That doesn't even include a lot of the regular foods that they eat. And then here we are trying to live a happy, healthy life with balanced emotions. And all of those chemicals, like it's the phthalates, the tricyclicans are the ones that, and almost all of those in that daily dozen we talked or I mentioned, almost all of them are carcinogenic. It's unfortunate. And everybody's like, well, you know, I haven't noticed, I'm really good now. But you know what happens is it bioaccumulates. It sits in our body. It sits in our fat cells. We can't release it. And then we end up with skin troubles. We end up with emotional concerns that we don't understand why we have them, other than stress related and food related. But all of these products that we use day to day. So what we've got: dish soap, laundry soap, cleaner, toothpaste, all of those different products that we just end up inundating our bodies, and eventually our body's like, you know, time out. We don't have the resources to deal with this. You get so built up on your body, it comes out in your skin. Then with children that have any kind of I guess attention or nervous system disorders, they right away think it's something wrong with the child when it's not. And it's one thing, it's not out there for consumer knowledge on a regular basis. Manufacturers don't put labels in a way that you can read them. They put all the names, granted they're required to write the chemical name, but they're chemical names. We don't need that kind of stuff to clean our body. You don't need propylene glycol that's actually used as a degreaser. You don't. When you can actually use, like, lemon is really good. It takes off glue off of anything. Lemon essential oil, that's it. When you can use that to clean things, why do you need a teenage girl's hand soap to be filled with that? And the perfume and the fragrance, that stuff is scary, because that is where they hide all the proprietary ingredients. So as a woman who wants to be well into her menopause, does not have to be a scary thing. But when you think about all the chemicals that we've used in our body, and then all of a sudden when we get to that age, and it's really not that we don't care about smelling really amazing, we want to smell beautiful, but we're not really concerned about the I don't like to brand drop, but the lotions and the sprays that smell like island breeze. Well, you know what? You can add whatever kind of oils you want so that your clothes smell lovely, or you can add whatever oils you want into here to make it smell amazing. There's ways to do it, but we do not need to inundate our bodies with all these chemicals that are causing our retirement years, if you will, or our later life to be filled with major health concerns. We don't need it. And so when you talk about the value of these products is immeasurable, in my opinion. Now that I know what I know, and now that I experienced, when I turned 30, I'm like, this is 30? A month long of hives, and I'm trying to figure it out. And it went through everything. I completely revamped my living, and that was prior Young Living. I just couldn't figure it out. I went to work, you guys. I tried out a new eye cream. At that time, prior Young Living, it was, meant to be really healthy and safe. And I was like, okay, because after that, I don't want to do anything else. Well, what happened? I had hives all the way around my eyes. How embarrassing. I didn't meet with clients that day. And I was wearing cotton clothes to work and gently sitting. I was like, this is not good. And then when I found Young Living later on, it was like, oh, hey. Then when I found Young Living, I was like, well, this makes me feel so much better, because I went through so much work to get rid of those things in my life. And when I seen that Young Living had these extra products that I knew I didn't have to search for anymore, it felt good. So I highly encourage you to check out the Dirty Dozen. There is numerous, like out of the 12, there was only 4 that were not endocrine system disruptors. So if you have a young lady in the house, a teenager, and boys too, right? We all have the same kind of hormones. Our tissues are the same. Our digestive systems are the same. Our skin's the same. You've got kids with acne. You've got kids with migraines. You've got kids with respiratory concerns. Ditch all of those toxins and trade it out for something. You might have to do a little figuring to start with, but the long-term health benefits, especially people with migraines, the scents and the artificial stuff they use in these other products, they're manufactured to be cheap and to be sold cheaply. That's really all it is. They don't empower people to read the labels, because if they did, and if they had numerous products label what's cancer causing, you wouldn't have very many products on the shelf, unfortunately. And it's sad, it's scary, and I don't even go there anymore because I can't even stomach it. The European Union is one that actually is very strict, and they ban, I think, over 1,325 toxins. US was at 15. I don't know, I hope they're more. Young Living has banned, I believe, either 2,500 now products or toxins, preservatives we will not use in our products. So that gives me way more confidence, and a lot of those products are not banned in the US or Canada. So Canada's better, but yeah. So I hope that gives you some value and some understanding of why the price is what it is and why it means something. So hopefully that helps. That's a lot of the questions I get, though, is like, why is it priced the way it is? And it does take ingredients that people have to figure out. So our science and education and research team has to do a lot to figure out what makes products work with natural ingredients. So I'll just flip it around and I'll end this call, and I'll just show you, like, this is on my desk downstairs. But yeah, it's a lot of products you can kind of turn into one, and the visuals pretty cool. So anyways, if you have questions, post them here, and I'll help you the best I can, and I'll post a couple comments, links in the comments for you. So here's what it looks like from my office. So here's your laundry soaps, your Thieves, that one's almost empty, 3-in-1 hand soap. You can use these to stretch out your fruit and veggie wash and your cleaner, and of course my absolute favorite cleaner. Anyways, have an amazing evening.